Oh, there it is. We're live.
Hello.
Y'all, we out
Hey.
here. I'm giving Dr. Sue a whistling lesson.
And she is not learning, y'all. She's not learning.
It took me a while.
Okay, I quit. I can never do anything but get the air. I can make the.
No, see, no, I'm telling you.
It's all in the tongue and the teeth.
I know, and I understand why my cousins could never teach me, because now that I know how to whistle, I'm like, I don't know how to put that into words of what happens, in the inside to be able to create the atmosphere that whistles.
Y'all gonna walk away with this picture of Dr. Sue. Trying to do it and not doing it very well. Okay.
Ain't got a whistle the first going on. Hey everybody. We know it ain't Wednesday, but here we are. So Dr. Sue and I have been doing a 10-week chakra journey. Today is week 8. And today we're talking about the third eye. The third eye is going to be a good day. Yeah. It's the filtering of your imagination. Let's go, third eye. All right, so if you hear, comment, say something, say hey. It's just like walking to anybody's house. Don't you walk by the grown folk and don't speak. Come on now. Who in here? I see 3 eyes on the building already. Who is you? Is you is or is you ain't, my baby? You remember that song from, what was it? It was Tom and Jerry, and Tom's cousin came to town. And you don't remember that? Did you ever watch Tom and Jerry, or did your son watch Tom and Jerry?
Watched it, but I don't remember a thing about it other than the cat chasing the mice.
Yeah, you know how any cartoon do. Sometimes they do too much. And Tom had this cousin that was a ladies' man that would come to town, and he played this little guitar. And he was saying, is you is or is you ain't, my baby. To the little cats. So yeah, all right. So tonight we're gonna be talking about this. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The 6th chakra. It goes from the back. I don't know if we ever said that. It goes from the base up. So we talked about the root, which is right at your seat, right at the end of your tailbone, right at the end of your spinal column, right there. That is your base. And then we went to the solar plexus. The solar plexus is right there, reproductive organs, think that area. And then your sacral chakra, you go up to your gut, right up under your boobs, right up under your chest. Then you go to your heart, which is right in the center. Then we did throat last week. And then this week is the third eye. The third eye. Oh my goodness. I said that the heart was my favorite. Then I said that the throat was my favorite. Now today.
Every week that we're at a different one, it is your favorite.
It's my new favorite. The third eye is my new favorite. So, Dr. Sue, tell me, what are the things that come to mind when you started diving into the third eye? Because like Dr. Sue has said in the past, she's known about the chakras, and many of us knew about the chakras. I knew about the chakras. I used to sell stuff. I used to know all the stones at my last employee, which is where a lot of this stuff came from. Even though I got my computer sitting on the rug to give me some height, it came from Earthbound. But I didn't dive into what they meant and how they actually was not affected me or affected me, or in effect of me. They were me. And then I could figure out how I was affecting my reality. So Dr. Sue was just in the same boat as me. So when we start talking about the chakra, and every week she's come back and having done more research and dive more in, has been like, man, this stuff right here is so practical. It's very practical. So what has come up for you so far when diving into the third eye chakra?
There were a couple of things that were really intriguing for me. As an energy healer, I see it in shades of gray. And so I can, as I'm looking at a person, I can see where the blockages are. And the blockage really is just energy that's not flowing, because your energy is supposed to be flowing throughout your body.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that I read and I thought, I got to Google this, because it said that the energy flows from the base chakra up through the crown, right? And that when it's flowing that way, your chakras are all unblocked, that they are active and as they should be. And then it said that when the energy is flowing down from the crown through the base in that order, that the chakras are blocked. And I just found that very intriguing, because when I'm working with a person and clearing their energy, I clear their auras. Well, first I do a scan, then I clear their auras. Then the auras are just the energetic fields around you, right? And they emanate from your body, but they are around you. And then I work on clearing the chakras, and I'm usually clearing from the crown chakra, above the crown, right down through each of the chakras, and ending at the root.
Right.
And then I am moving the energy so that it's flowing. I see it flowing from above your head, divine energy, right down into your feet, and from there down into the earth. And I anchor it with energy from the earth. Like from the earth's core, the golden cord, I anchor with that. So it was very intriguing to me that this one person was saying that the chakras are actually blocked if the energy is flowing from the top down. And I don't experience it that way at all. I experience it as divine white light flowing from the chakra down through the root chakra. And when it's there, then I know it's clear, because I can see the colors.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But that
and
was
if I may, so you're a healer though. You see it flowing that way because you are putting them in the mindset of the feeling of flow before you take them back through what's blocked. And so it's like, that's why you see it that way, because you know what is necessary. So you visualize what's necessary, because if it's flowing that way, you have to almost energetically reverse engineer it, and then clear a space for you to put your white light, because you believe in it. Because truly what a block is us believing that something has to stay. And nothing has to stay. So I like that. I saw it, and it looked so good, and the energy and the light was just flowing. I don't know. I like it. I don't know. Oh, we got a comment. Who is it? Look, who is it? I should have known. Hey, Queen Angelique. Look, me and Angelique are hitting the town tonight. When I get out here, I'm going to go pick up Angelique, and me and Angelique hitting the town tonight. I'm excited. Hey. We always hang out, we always strategize, we're always planning, we always coming up with ideas and executing and, brainstorming. Tonight, me and Angelique just going out on the town, and it's gonna be awesome because she's in Memphis right now. I don't know if I'm supposed to be telling her business, but I'm pretty sure she put it on Facebook. And then there's Ray Mail. Hey, Ray Mail. Yeah. What's going on, brother? Look, the family's back together. Don't it feel good? Don't it feel good? All right, so tonight we're talking about that third eye. And we were just talking about how as we're diving in and we're seeing how energy works, and not even as we are diving into ourselves and realizing all the components that we have within us, that if we pay close attention to, we can see exactly from the inside out how the outside affects the in, and realize that the in got to be before anything on the out can be.
Girl, you got to put some words to that because people may not be able to see.
I know you so.
Speak.
So within, so without. So within, so without. And we're talking about that in way of the chakras and how each chakra houses a certain energy. And if you pay attention to that energy, you will start to get these little bumps and these little nudges about something that might have happened, or a feeling that you keep getting over and over. And it's getting to the point that's like, okay, wait a minute, it can't be everybody. I think it might be me. You know, it's you. I promise it's you. If you are so happy, and I'm going to put this in a different frame. If you are so happy and you just found like a good love, or you just found a new job, or you just found like a great relationship, or a pet. Oh my God, you've been looking for the perfect pet. You just got the right pet. Like, that's important sometimes. That is very important. That happiness is filtered through you. It's not even the thing that's making you happy. It's because in you lies such a sweet place that you can experience that. It's not the thing. You literally have that much happiness in you, and you can tap into it at any time. But it takes some diving inside to see what these energy centers have to tell you about the things that you've been through and what you're holding on to. That's what the chakras are all about. They're not about control. They're about understanding who you are. So we diving into the third eye today. Okay, so we're gonna give just the base, the stuff first. The element of the third eye is light. A lot of times we see, even like the dollar bill with the pyramid, the eye being light, right? Jesus Christ, the pictures and stuff you see him right here, that's light. Or just a lighthouse.
Like the Egyptian eye. The Egyptian eye. What's it called? It's called something else. Yeah.
The eye of Horror. Horror. Yeah, Horror. The eye of Horror. Yeah, light. It's like this. It's like just like a lighthouse. I mean, I may be misquoting, but I'm pretty sure when you think about a lighthouse, where that light is just circling and circling. And think about what chakra means, right? It's a disc. It's a spinning. It's a wheel of light. So if every chakra is a wheel of light, and the element of this chakra is light, can you imagine? Light on light on light on light. Like, that's what makes it so illuminating. And that is what this chakra is all about. So let me keep going. The color of this chakra is indigo, which is a blue, like Dr. Sue has on. She has her lapis on. I have some lapis lazuli up here somewhere. I'm gonna run and get it in a minute when I play the little commercial. Play the commercial, we'll go get the lapis. And then the affirmation is I see. Hence the third eye. Right? The third eye is not what you see naturally. If you could put a picture to feelings, that's kind of like what the third eye is. It gives you this illuminated sense of awareness to show how immaculate the position that you are in right now is, because it's the only person that has ever and will ever have that vision of consciousness at that moment, at any moment. You're it. Of every experience, of every thought, of every memory, of everything that ever can happen to you, you are the only one. And when you realize that there's something inside that just opens up, because you're like, I am literally all knowing of every experience that I have, whether I remember it or not. I have it. And not only do I have it, I'm the only one that has it. That's illuminating. Because even even if you can't make it out, you start seeing shapes of your past. You start seeing shadows of your past because you're shining this illuminating light on everything that's you. And then that's when you start to see that everybody is just a mirror. Because when light hits something, it bounces, baby.
Yes, it does. Ooh.
It bounces. It's you. It's always been you. I mean, that's power. You're like, it's always been me. Because it doesn't matter how bad anything has ever been or anything could ever get. If you can honor the illuminating light of the awareness that it's you, you set yourself free. What you think, Dr. Sue?
I think you're so absolutely right. And one of the things that stuck out when I was doing the research is that this chakra it holds the light, or it holds the energy for compassion and love, and for all of the positiveness. But it also, on the reverse side, it holds the energy of frustration and irritation, and so annoyance and anger. And so when it's not functioning properly, then rather than tapping into the higher level energies, those which enable us to know or to experience an awakening, instead of tapping into that bright cosmic light, instead we shift into the darker energies, the 3D energies, the anger and the hostility. So this chakra, I always think of it as, for me, it's very spiritual, right? And so because that's the way I see it, I am always focusing on the higher vibrational energies. But this chakra also has an aspect that, depending on how you're vibrating, it will allow you to vibrate at lower level energies too. So you really have to be mindful and be present as to what is the type of energy that I'm generating right now.
Yep.
And to that, you have control over that. And that really is where your thoughts come in. And so often we don't think that we can control our thoughts. We can't stop ourselves from thinking, but we can regulate the nature of the thoughts that we have.
That's the part. Is that illuminating light. Now, from the root chakra, we sat in the seat of self. And we said, okay, this is me. I came here. I'm here. I'm grounded here. I'm rooted here. If I jump up, I even come down. Like, I'm here. And you realize that though I'm here, a lot of things crafted who I am. And then you move into, okay, now that I am who I am, I got to say what I want to do with it. And then you go from there to say, okay, now how do I control it? How do I manipulate life through it? And then you say, now how do I love it? What I've created, it was me. Now how do I love it? And I think we get stuck there a lot because we're like, we try to convince ourselves we like things that we don't like at that point. You know what I mean? But then through the throat chakra, and then we say the truth, like, no, I don't like this. I don't like it. And I'm not going to beat myself up because I made it. I'm not going to beat myself up because I don't like it. I'm just declaring I don't like it. Or I'm saying, I like this. Why do I let everybody convince me that I don't like this? This is what I like. This is who I am. And this is okay. And we get that command over ourselves and like, okay, it's at that point, like, okay, now I can do this. I can do this. This is who I am. Do this. And then that third eye shines a light on, okay, now that you see that it's always been you. What is it that is illuminated basically in the room that you can utilize to appreciate it? I don't know if that came across right. Appreciate is the best word I can come up with, though, to appreciate what you've done.
I think that, well, I like what you said, because as you were saying it, I thought, and isn't that what enlightenment really is? It is a return to self, a coming back to you. It's like the world has given you all of this stuff and you bought into it. And so to have enlightenment, you really have to unlearn the false truth, right? And learn the real truth, which
Yeah.
requires you to turn that spotlight of introspection, to turn it inward. And when you do that, it's like, yeah, so this is me. And for many of us, initially, it's like, I don't like that. I don't like that. But we don't like it, not because we don't really like it. We don't like it because it doesn't coincide with what society says we should be. So that part we have to unlearn. And when we unlearn that and we know this is who I am, I created me, I love me. And I don't care what you think about it. You can think whatever you think about it. This is the me that I am, and I'm running with it. Once you do that and you're speaking your truth, that's what and for me, that's what enlightenment is. That's what awakening is. That's what, when people are talking about stay woke, I don't know what they mean, but that's what I mean when I'm talking about be woke. Get woke, be woke, and stay woke. Stay woke because you are.
Stay woke. Yes, indeed. I love it. I mean, woke. I'm going to even skip over that because I talked about that on a different broadcast somewhere, and I'm just like, it's one of those things that if you're speaking to the definition of something that I want to perpetuate what I want to see. So like it's like that definition. But when you were talking and you were talking about how we are, I mentioned the word appreciate, and then you went into how we are creatures of comparison of what other people expect of us, and doing this, that, for whatever reason, it all makes sense. But I feel like that awareness and that illuminating light, it goes back to, how like we talk about terrible twos a lot, and I feel like terrible twos is nothing but a spinoff of us crying when we were hungry as an infant, crying when our diaper was too full as an infant. We figured out what worked, and then we bring this into the age of about 2 o'clock. 2 years old, 2 o'clock, 2 years old, pretty much the same thing. And our parents decide that we're too big to do it. Now, so now I'm like, okay, I gotta rediscover who I am again, and then we go through puberty, because now that we've shut down and we've learned to repress our feelings, now we're emotional teenagers. Now we're too big to do that. Now you got to talk to me. No, I want you to talk to me. You need to tell me how you feel. You always in your room with the door shut. Well, that's what you told me to do. When I was crying and yelling, you told me to shut up. So now I want to shut up. Now you want me to talk. And we get out into this world with this blocked ass throat chakra. And a third eye that's so hazy because we've been paying attention to so many things that wasn't what we wanted to look at. We wanted to look at the fact that things worked. Now tell me it's not working. Don't tell me I'm wrong though, because I know it works. I know it works. And we get those two things confused. But when we get to that point where we can illuminate a light on, for instance, if you go into a room, a dark room, and you can't get the light switch to work, and you can't get the plug to work, and you can't get this to work, and you can't get that to work. But if you can go out and have the wherewithal to get a flashlight, a guide, a coach, a minister, a parent, a friend, a counselor, a therapist, if you can take the wherewithal to go back in with a light, spiritual, guidance, and see that the whole time the breaker just wasn't on. You weren't plugged into what really mattered. You weren't plugged into the light that supplies that fluid feeling of energy, a fluid feeling of things happening. Arigato. Michelle Hardy says it all the time. It's gratitude out and gratitude in. Arigato. I think that's how you say it. It's like things have to flow. They come and they go. But we get so fixated in the situations of which we shift, the situations of which the energy comes up. Because now it's like, even when the energy is flowing, sometimes we get scared because it's a new feeling. It's a new transition. It's a new illumination on something else inside of your room. It's just the light panning across what's inside. Don't be scared of it. You put it there. You already touched it. You ain't gotta be scared to touch it. You've already touched it because you put it there. So as the light shines on what has created who you are, the situations you in, the relationship you in, the weight you gain, the health problems you have, the sleepless nights you suffer, just be like, okay, at least it makes sense. I did it. I have the grace, I have the compassion to say to myself, what is the affirmation? I see. I see exactly how I got here, which means I know the way back to me. It illuminates that path back to you because it starts to make sense beyond just seeing it. It makes sense beyond of who put it there. And it was just your human experience being brilliant and figuring out a way to get through anything. But you collected them. You collected different ways to get out of things instead of saying that was just for that way. And even though this situation is similar, now I can see that this situation is just this situation. And today is just today. And I'm just me who I am right now, not who I was then, nor do I have to compete of who I'm becoming. Just see here, just illuminate now. Be here now. Be here now. That's what I feel like it really truly illuminates. It's true illumination.
I think that more people would get that, but I think that one of the things that perhaps is a barrier to that understanding is the societal norms. When your parents have taught you certain things, or when the church has advocated certain things, or people that you grew up believing, adults, you grew up believing that adults were the be all, the end all in terms of knowledge. For many of us, before we can actually turn inward and tap into ourselves, we almost have to be given permission because it requires us to go against so many of the things that we thought we knew. We start, as little people, little spirit beings, who are the most important people in your life? That's mama, right? Mama and daddy or your family are the most important people, right? And you believe that what they're telling you is true. Now, what happens inside of your mind? What happens to you mentally if you start as a little person thinking, well, they don't know what they're talking about? That causes you to be unhinged. That causes you to it causes you to really question. Rather than questioning them and their fallibility, it causes you to question you. So we grow up assuming that they are right. And by the time we get to that point of maturity where we have the capacity to think through, we now have so many rules that we have internalized. We now have so many beliefs that we've internalized. It really rocks our root. It rocks our root chakra to say, I have to unlearn this, to say mama was wrong, to say they didn't know. And that for some people, psychologically, that is just too much. So what we have to do, if that is your situation, then begin, I say eat around the edges of what we're talking about. Don't just dive right into the middle, because in the middle may be too much. Begin to do your research, begin to decide for yourself, what is the truth here? Because we had to decide for ourselves, we had to figure it out. What we're doing is providing a space and sharing the knowledge that we've gained. But ultimately, each person has to decide for himself or herself what truth is. And speaking of what you were saying about feeling the energy, I may have shared once before that I was teaching a class and I was showing them using Reiki, showing them how energy moves. And one woman, for the first time, she felt it. She felt it within herself. It scared her. She thought it was witchcraft. She thought it was, she was from an African country. And so she thought it was voodoo. And I'm saying, well, if it's voodoo and it's within you, where's it coming from?
Right.
it's not voodoo. It is you experiencing your own energy for the first time.
Yeah.
We live in a society that says to us, disconnect from who you are, focus everything externally. Everything is outside of you. But that is just the opposite of truth. First, truth is inside, and then you can see with
Yeah.
your spiritual eye what truth really is for you.
Yeah. That's why I call it insight. It's what you see in the inside. I just want to say, hey, cousin. Hey, Kendall. I saw their name pop up. I just wanted to say, hey. Man, what was I was so focused. I'm like, I was about to say something. I don't remember what it was. But it's so true because it does completely deal with insight, which is, the word, it deals with insight. It's perception, intuition, and imagination. All those things come from the inside. But we spend so much damn time looking on the outside. We spend so much time listening on the outside. We spend so much time catering to the outside, being pulled by outside. Oh my girl, today was just a whirlwind because you was caught up on the outside. We can get caught up in the inside too, but at least it's our stuff. At least it's our stuff. And it'll actually propel us once we calm it down. Because a lot of times we can calm down the outside. We done handled mama's bills. We done took daddy to the doctor. The kids got their homework done. The husband is fed. The wife is tucked in. The dog is wagging his tail and drooling. And then we sit there exhausted. Ain't got nothing left to get ourselves. And then we can't sleep. They gave it all away, exhausted, and can't sleep. Because that energy is inside saying, I just want out. And how exhausting is it? Think about a fly stuck in your kitchen window.
You're so graphic.
And it goes on, and I'm like, oh my God, let me just put this fly out of his misery because he's not gonna make it. Even if I let him out at this point, he's not gonna make it. And that's how we feel about our situation. So we end up letting it out and screaming and yell, which is like the fly spotter saying, "Kapow, I'm killing this." Or we let the fly out to go and suffocate in such brilliant air because he suffocated himself so long that the freshness is toxic to it, or seems that way. Like we get freedom and we don't even know what to do with it. We're so scared. How many of us, and I'm going to raise my hand before I even say this, because I am one, have quit your job and have so much freedom that you're scared to death and have to go back to work. You had all the time and all the freedom that you needed. But you know what you spent your time doing? Just caught up in the energy. Instead of finding healthy ways to release it, instead of finding people to talk to about it, because society, like Dr. Sue has said, that this is not normal. This is voodoo. This is hoodoo. No, I'm waiting on Jesus. Well, baby. Hey, I'm gonna give us a little break. Honestly, we need a break. Hang on, we're gonna be right back.
As I was thinking about what we are doing, it really is an opportunity for people to connect with their beingness. we are not conscious of the compartmentalization. We just say, this is who I am, right? Who you are is different depending on the environment that you find yourself in or the people that you find yourself connected with. So I hold myself out as an example. At 71 years old, it's been a long journey. It's been a long journey to self-acceptance. And I think it may be that way for many of us, that we look at the pieces of ourselves and decide, I can show that. No, I can't show that. Is there a danger? How deep is the danger if I show you all of me? Oh, I can show these people this part of me, and these people this part of me, and these people this part of me. And then the question is, how long before you get tired of just compartmentalizing your beingness?
And just to finish my sentence, Jesus never left. You ain't got to wait on him. He's been here the whole time. He's been here the whole time. You remember where it say, I'll never leave you or forsake you? Just saying. So is your grandma, though, and your grandpa. My grandma, my grandpa, everybody is here. And they can be tapped in at any time, because that is the energy that we can all tap into. It's just different vibrations of it. The same way you have energy housed inside of you, it's the same way that the energies got collectively that way. It's because everybody offering the energy. Jesus energy, Buddha energy. You know what I mean? Like you ain't gonna tell me that if you see somebody walking down the street that look like a basketball player with some curly hair and a beanie on, that you ain't be like, that's Carrie energy. WWC do. What would Carrie do? You know what I mean? Like, I got energy too. And we dismiss how powerful that is. Ain't nobody got no Ray Mel energy. Like Ray Mel got Ray Mel energy. Angelique got Angelique energy. Dr. Sue got Dr. Sue energy. TC got TC energy. You know what I mean? Toy got Toy energy. Carly got Carly energy. We're the only ones. And we use our energy to multiply somebody else's. Every time we allow what they say to be the ruling factor in the decisions that we make for our lives. They didn't make the decision. We let them decide, and we said, okay, and then made it your decision. This light, when it illuminates on that, you don't utilize your energy in order to correct it. No, you just utilize your energy to perpetuate what you want to perpetuate. That's how you elevate. That's how you expand, because you start to invite more things instead of saying, no, I don't want this. No, I don't want that. No, you say, okay, so that happened. So you know what that means? I got a new experience with this, and I'm going to take that energy and I'm going to reverse it, and I'm going to transmute it over here because I learned something. It's the same energy, because you can't take it over there and be like, Eeyore, oh, bother. And I'm going to tell everybody that'll listen to me. And then they'll tell me about their old bother story. Then we have a whole old bother fest. You know what I mean? And it goes on and on, because you're perpetuating, which means the ripples of anxiety, you try to stop them by hitting them. And now it's just more and more and more anxiety, because all you want to talk about is anxiety. You're perpetuating anxiety. You're hanging around anxiety. You're being anxiety. You become for lack of a better term, the foster child of the very thing that you don't want. And it's because you're illuminating. Just because these things get blocked and they don't work well, they're still working, y'all. And they're filtered through everything they got to come up through. So you're still illuminating. Don't think that this is something that only enlightened people get. Only the enlightened illuminates. No, you're just illuminating on everything negative. That's all. You want to focus on things that aren't serving you. You want to talk about things that aren't serving you. You want to hang around people that ain't serving you. And it becomes this perpetuation of lifetimes and existence. That's truly what general curses is all about. We talk about slavery. It's because everybody decided that this is all right. They said it was all right. I guess it's all right with me too. This is not all, it's not all right.
I was just having this conversation with the lady earlier today who said that she had moved down to the metro area because she was from, I think she said she was from Cleveland, maybe Cleveland, but she talked about how every time she says, I'm very positive and I'm always trying to see the light, but I didn't always see that. She says, I come from a family where everybody can only see the negative, and regardless of what happens, if it's good, bad, in between, their comments are always negative. And she said, I didn't even see that about myself until I started trying to be around different people than my family members. And at that point, someone pointed out to her that she was always negative, regardless of what happened. If it was something good for her that she wanted, she was negative about it. If it was something bad, she was negative. So she was living in a sea of negativity. She said, I had to get away from my family in order to find myself. She's like, my children are grown, and I said to them, I'm leaving, and y'all can come or you can stay, but I'm going. And she said, now I am around people who are positive, who are uplifting, and I have a totally different energy. And she said, my children decided that they were going to come with me, and I have noticed significant changes in their energy as well. Let me tell you, energy, there is such a thing as energetic contagion. And when you are around people, if the people are up in terms of their vibe, if they're vibing positively, if they are optimistic, then you tend to be that way as well.
Right.
And when they are vibing low and everything is negative, everything is no, they tend to be that way as well. And what I like about what you said, Carrie, and I'll say it in slightly different language, we are always creating. We can't not create. And so the thing that wherever our energy goes, then that is what we're creating. And we say, I don't know why my life is this, and oh, I can't get out of this, and oh, I don't have any money, and oh, hey, that's what you're feeding. That's what you're energizing. No, you're not going to have any money because you keep saying I don't have any. No, you're not going to have the job that you want because you keep saying that I don't want this job. I hate this. Whatever that thing is that you're hating, that's what you're getting, because it's like a plant, right? You have to give a plant water and food. If you don't give it the water and food, then it dies. Or if you give it toxic water and poison, then it dies. And so when we think about the energy of our thoughts, everything is energy, and you are always creating. So if you're going to expend time and energy creating, create what you want from a positive perspective. And going back to that third eye, when that third eye is open, that's when things are eliminated, and you can see, this is my true essence, this is my true being, and this is truth regarding the things that I am saying I want versus the things that I don't want.
Yeah.
Go within,
Yeah.
not without.
Yeah. Yeah. When you go within, you'll never go without. You'll never go without anything, because everything needs in there. Every single thing that you need is in there. I mean, how, if everything that you need is in there. So I've said this several times. When a woman is born, she is born with every single egg that she will ever have. And so is her mom, and so is her mom, and so is her mom. And we can say all day that a man and a woman makes a baby. But once that seed is planted, no one else does anything but the baby. You are self-made. You are self-created. And everything you needed was in there from the beginning. And you grew arms, then you grew fingers, you grew the eyelashes. I grew these. Look, y'all. I grew them. That's all me right there. That's all me. You grew yours, I grew mine. We literally, you can't, no scientist or preacher can dismiss the fact that you did that. That everything you needed to survive the womb, the creation process, the birth, the growing, the learning, the comprehending, the whatever, the language. You learn languages. You learn the language. Some of us I'm 43. I'm almost 44. I've tried to learn Spanish as an adult, but as an infant, I learned English. And English is one of the most difficult languages to learn. Isn't that something? But we say we don't have a lot of choices in a lot of situations in our lives. And why? Because that's what we believe. And if you believe it, that's true. And what's true to you is what you've been illuminating your light of consciousness, your light of awareness on the majority of the time. Would you agree?
I definitely agree. And one of the things that I want to say is that when we do our inner work, that's when the third eye stays open. And when the third eye is open, it's like that is I consider that like a super highway to the divine, right?
Yeah.
Because that's when you can actually connect with your higher self and receive the information that you need to make the life that you want, right? And so often I'm always in awe about people who are constantly using affirmations that they are affirming things, but they don't believe that within them they possess the power to create these things, right? And so every time they make an affirmation, then there's that negative Nelly, the saboteuring thought that says, no, you can't, no, it's not, you can't do that. What makes you think you can do that, right? But when you can, your intuition is like a muscle. It is a muscle that it's the muscle that travels on the super highway to source, right? And so when you tap into that and you develop it, and you through meditation, through reading, through spiritual readings, through connecting with nature, through having higher level conversations, through opening your awareness, when you develop that muscle, then what you find is time after time after time, the things that you have questions about, the questions that you want answers to, they come to you because you already have that knowledge. Within you is the knowledge of everything that you would ever want an answer to. The problem is we don't believe that. And even when we hear, quote unquote, however it is you receive the information, even when source speaks to us, we will say, no, it's not. I made that up. That came too easy. It couldn't be. Duh, didn't you just ask? And then you just get the answer to what you asked. And now you're going to refute it because it goes against your human imposed, externally imposed beliefs. Now, what sense does that make? Why are you even asking in the first place? Just continue to let other people run your life. What I'm saying and what we're saying is all of the power, all of the everything that you need is right in this whole beingness. And when you can tap into the third eye, open that spiritual eye, develop your intuition, the information flows. It flows like a river. That's all
And
I'm
you
saying.
just see things. Like you literally see that, like you see things for really what they are instead of what you think they might be, or things like that. Because I mean, I don't even know how to put this without putting just the way it is. But like about a lot of times, and I've said this last week as well in one of my posts, that when things come up for you and you can literally see, you can see your blood pressure going up because things start to look different. You can see when you start to get jealous because it's like what you call it, oh shoot, there's a name for it when the edges start to darken. Oh, there's a name for it. It's gonna bug me if I don't figure out what the name of it is. I'm gonna tell you right now. It is called.
I don't know, but I know that when I am working with a person and clearing their energy, if I'm doing like a Reiki energy clearing,
Uh-huh.
and I have cleared them totally, and I can see the clear white light, the divine light moving through them. As soon as they shift into negative thinking and worrying about whatever it was they were worrying about before I started doing the clearing, their
Uh-huh.
energy darkens.
Yes,
And
yes.
it's like
Ving
it
it.
goes
It's
away.
called Ving it. It's called Ving it. I was like, I know the name of it. It's like the edges. It starts to get kind of like this tunnel vision. Like you lose your peripheral. It starts to get very narrow. You lose your peripheral. You can see literally when your third eye starts to be obstructed, restricted, constricted, um, tightened, threatened. You can see it. You can see it. You get dizzy. You get blurry. You get this. That you get this. You ever saw sounds like something like you feel like something boom, but then feel like the room does that as well when you hear that, or if it's high pitch, it seems like everything in the room is just extra bright or sharp. We see when things are affecting us in a certain way. Like a lot of people say, I saw red, girl, I saw red, or I blacked out, I couldn't see nothing. I couldn't see any. Your energy got constricted so much that you blacked out. No energy got through it all. Because you literally transmuted all of your energy to something negative, and it got sucked into that black hole. It gets literally sucked in, and that's where we go for a moment in time. That's where we go. We literally give all of ourselves to these situations that take all of our awareness, all of our consciousness, and all of our energy. But it's because we focus so firmly and definitely on that thing. It's like we surrendered ourselves to it. We surrender ourselves a lot of times to things that we don't necessarily want to even surrender to us. Because we're trying to prove that we deserve to feel some kind of way, then just feel it. Because we want to prove that we can love a certain kind of way, then love that way. Because we want to prove that we're worthy, girl, boy, be worthy. Just be worthy. You are worthy. You are beautiful. You are perfect. You are exactly where you're supposed to be at this point in life through all the experiences that you've ever been to. But just know that right now and from where you stand is a perspective and a decision. And if you want anything to change, all you got to do is take an energetic step to the left, to the right, to the side, a fraction, up, back, down. It don't matter. Just decide, where do you want your energy to go? What do you want to illuminate today? What do you want to focus on? Because it's going to perpetuate. And whether you decide or not, it's the decision to decide or it's the decision to not decide. Now it's truly your decision. And I want you to know that. You can be anything you want to be. You can do anything you want to do. And if anything that we said today that you want to understand, go research it. If it struck you in a way that you didn't click off, it's for you. Go research it. Don't take my word for it. Don't take Dr. Sue's word for it. Don't take nobody's word for it in the comment. This is your life. Research you. What touched you? Why did it touch you? How long has it been in there? Is it nasty? Is it pretty? Doesn't matter. It's you. Research it. Get familiar with it. Because the better you know you, the better you're going to interact with everything that comes to meet you. It's just a whole world of things coming to meet you. Give them you. Give them you. So that's my final words. It felt like a good closing for me. Now, Dr. Sue, what you got for us?
Well, I always like to be very transparent in terms of who I am and how I be. And so at this point, what I would say is that, speaking for me, and if I may also speak for you, it hasn't always been this way, having the clarity about the things that we've talked about, because there have been, for me, many times when I was in the dark, I was so sucked into trying to be someone else, trying to be who they said I should be. Now, I accomplished a lot of things, but they didn't fulfill me, right? It's what happened so many times is I was on the achievement bus, trying to achieve and be the person that they, my mama, society, whoever else said I should be, but I wasn't being me. And it wasn't until I got a coach. Actually, I started to have some spiritual experiences where God was speaking directly to me. Now, at first I thought, I don't want to be crazy because, I'm just saying, right? But then I connected with a group of women who all had experience in spiritual metaphysics. And so we began to talk about the kinds of things we're talking about now, chakras and auras. And that really is the beginning of me getting into energy healing, because the more I learned, the more it just made sense. And so what I'm saying to the listener is, this is your journey. Take control of your life. If you are old enough to listen to this and to have understanding or even partial understanding of what we're talking about, then that says you're ready to go further and deeper on your own journey. And it's all about returning to self, casting off that which does not support you and striving for that which does, which again, for many of us requires us to have go internally and go very deep. Because one of the things I had to do, and you may also have to do, is find out, well, who am I and what is important to me? And it doesn't matter about what I read. It only really matters when I connect with the knowledge within. Oh, that's what that means for me. And once that happened, then it was like I just became greedy for more knowledge, greedy for more information. I respect what other people say, because it is their right to have that opinion, but they don't have the right to control my life. And so I don't try to stop anybody from thinking what they think, but I am my own woman. And I'm encouraging you to be your own man and be your own woman and find out who are you and what is it that works for you, and stop giving your energy and your power away. Stop it. I'm just saying. That's my last word.
Ashe. Well, y'all, it's been a blessing, as it always is. So we will be back next week with the last chakra, the crown chakra. So is this week 9? No, this is week 8. This is week 8. Next week is week 9, and then we're gonna talk about the retreat the last week. Is it?
I lost track. I just know that we're going to be here.
I know, but next week is the crown. We'll see where we go from there. Next week will be next week. So, y'all, thank you for joining us. It's always a pleasure. I love talking about the chakras. I love talking about energy. And I definitely love talking about it with y'all. So we hope that you come back. We'll be back next week, Wednesday, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern, and 6 o'clock Pacific. So we'll see y'all next time, and we love you very, very much. As I was thinking about what we are doing, it really is an opportunity for people to connect with their beingness.
we are not conscious of the compartmentalization. We just say, this is who I am, right? Who you are is different depending on the environment that you find yourself in or the people that you find yourself connected with. So I hold myself out as an example. At 71 years old, it's been a long journey. It's been a long journey to self-acceptance. And I think it may be that way for many of us, that we look at the pieces of ourselves and decide, I can show that. No, I can't show that. Is there a danger? How deep is the danger if I show you all of me? Oh, I can show these people this part of me, and these people this part of me, and these people this part of me. And then the question is, how long before you get tired of just compartmentalizing your beingness